Hi, I'm David Madeira, and I'm running for Congress in the 10th Congressional District because I believe that we need leadership that takes the Constitution seriously. I'm a chiropractor by training, and I spent my entire career working hard to make sure that my patients had the kind of care they needed. And 2 years ago, I retired from chiropractic because I recognized that the system is terribly broken. Unfortunately, the direction that we went with this fix was just the wrong direction, and that's why I'm running for Congress, because I know that we can do better. By returning responsibility and freedom to the people and telling Washington not to spend money they don't have, our money, our children's money, and our grandchildren's money, I think we can turn this country back around and make it a very, very special place to live again. I'm running in the 10th Congressional District because I believe Congressman Carney has not listened to the people of the 10th Congressional District. And my desire will be to make sure that we have in place the kind of government that we want. A poll that Rasmussen did earlier this year said that 72% of Americans do not feel that this government has their consent to govern the way that they are. With bailouts and takeovers of industries, it's clear that the government is moving in the wrong direction, and we have to change it. But there are good things that we can do to make things better. First of all, we need to really stand up for the right to life and make sure that from the moment of conception to the moment of natural death, every human is provided the protection that the Declaration says: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the pursuit of happiness doesn't mean government takes care of you. It means you take care of yourself. And one of the beautiful things about America is that we have always reached out to our neighbors and taken care of them. When de Tocqueville came to America and studied American government and American people, he made an interesting observation. He said, you know, in Europe, when there's a problem, people wait for and look for the government to solve it. But he said in America, the people get together and they form associations, seemingly out of nowhere, to solve the problems. And that's the kind of America that I remember and that I love and that I want to get back to. An America where liberty is celebrated, where freedom is encouraged. And so I have plans that I think will help us to turn that around. The first thing we need to do is freeze the spending. We've got to stop spending money we don't have. And so I suggest that we go back to the 2007 budget, keep it locked there, and by 2014 we'll have $165 billion to begin to pay down the national debt. This will also secure, again, our AAA rating, which is very important for our economy. We have to be able to say to the world, we are going to be responsible with our spending. We're not going to borrow and spend and tax and tax. The second thing we need to do to rein in the outgrowth of government is to reevaluate our regulations. And I propose something that I haven't heard too many people talk about, but it's something that I believe will gain a lot of traction in the coming years, as businesses' voices will be heard once again, as the people who create the jobs get to be back in control in the reins of power and force the government back into its constitutional box. And that concept is to sunset all regulations. So whatever great idea the government comes up with, they'll have to justify it again in a couple of years and vote on it up or down in a couple of years. And that will force them to justify these regulations, and the ones that don't really serve the purposes which they were first intended for, we can get rid of. And the ones that are useful, we can put back in place. So if we freeze the budget and commit to balancing it, and if we roll back the regulations, the only other thing we need to do is cut taxes. We need to preserve the 2001 and 2003 taxes. We need to eliminate as many taxes as we can. And we need to make Tax Freedom Day, the day that you get to start working for yourself, much earlier each year. And ultimately, let's move to a fair tax, where taxes are assessed on what we spend rather than what we earn, so that the IRS becomes irrelevant and unnecessary, and we can get back to a land that rewards work, savings, and investment rather than penalizing those very things that will make our economy strong again. I'm a pro-life candidate. I believe strongly in the traditional values that made America great, including gun rights. I think it's very important that the government follow the Second Amendment and stay out of gun regulation. It is not their lawful place to be, and I would work very hard to protect our gun rights. Finally, I just want to say that I think it's very important that we remember we are passing on a legacy to our children and our grandchildren. what will that legacy be? At this moment in history, when it seemed that perhaps all was lost and we were rushing into the arms of the warm, welcoming embrace of socialism, did we as the American people stand up for our rights and say, no, we want freedom. We think freedom is more important than safety and comfort. And I believe that in the end, the American people, this election, will choose that. And I believe I'm the candidate best equipped to bring that message to Washington and say, you may not have our freedoms, you may not take our liberties away, because we, the people, have the government, not the other way around. Thank you, and I hope that on May 18th I can receive your vote. Thank you, and have a good day.